You know, we live in an age where basically all the information in the world is supposed to be right at our fingertips. But have you ever stopped to think about what happens when the most important ideas, the most critical research, are actually locked away? Well, today we're going to talk about the key to unlocking all of that, the incredible power of open access. I just love this quote from the great Terry Pratchett. It sounds so simple, right? To get smart, to form your own opinions, you just read everything. It paints this beautiful picture of a massive global library, totally open for all of us to just wander through. But is that really how it works? Yeah, here's the catch. In reality, a huge amount of the world's scholarly knowledge isn't open at all. It's hidden behind these crazy expensive paywalls. So that amazing idea of reading everything suddenly hits a brick wall, a digital door that's slammed shut. So how do we get it open? Well, that key we're looking for, it has a name. It's a movement, it's a model for publishing, and really, it's a whole philosophy. It's called open access, and it's all built on this one simple but honestly revolutionary idea that knowledge should be free for everyone. Let's break that down. Open access, or OA for short, just means that anyone, and I mean anyone, anywhere in the world can read important research without having to pay for it. No subscription fees, no pay-per-view, no nonsense. It's a pretty radical idea when you think about it. It treats knowledge like a public good, like a park or clean air, not some luxury item. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. It actually started pretty quietly, way back in 1991, with a bunch of physicists sharing their papers on a website called arXiv. But then the idea started to catch on. 2002 was a huge year. That's when it officially got the name Open Access, and critically, when Creative Commons licenses gave it the legal backbone to make sharing safe and easy. By 2010, you had whole libraries like OEPN dedicated just to open access books. The revolution was on. Okay, but this next part is absolutely crucial. Not all types of free are the same. On one hand, you have gratis open access. It's free to read, but that's it. All rights are still reserved. Think of it like a painting in a museum. You can look, but you definitely can't touch. Then you have Libra open access. Now this is the real deal. It's free to read, and you're free to share it, translate it, remix it, build something new with it. That's where the real magic happens. Not just reading, but creating. All right, so naturally, whenever you talk about giving something away for free, people get a little skeptical. And the biggest myth, the biggest question mark is always about the money. I mean, if you're an author or a publisher, isn't giving away the digital book just financial suicide? This is the number one question, right? It's what everyone is thinking. If the PDF is free for anyone to download, who on earth would ever pay for the actual physical book? It seems like an open and shut case. The answer should be yes. Of course, it kills sales. Well, get ready for a plot twist, because the data, the actual hard evidence, says no. A big, fat, emphatic no. This is one of those fantastic moments where our common sense is just completely wrong. And you don't have to take my word for it. Look at this. Study after study, done in different countries with different methods, they all come back with the same result. Whether they monitored 50 books or compared matched pairs, the conclusion is always the same. Making a book free online has basically zero negative impact on print sales. It turns out the person who just needs to check a fact in a free PDF and the person who wants to own the physical book are often two completely different audiences. So, if we've busted the sales myth, that brings up a new puzzle. How do people even find these books in the first place? We all have this idea of a library as a destination, a building you walk into, or a website you visit. Well, in the world of open access, you kind of have to throw that idea out the window. The library isn't a place anymore, it's a network. Now, get a load of this number. It is wild. A major study found that a staggering 73% of all open access book downloads happened through something called direct access. What does that mean? It means the person downloading the book never even went to the library's main website. Think about what that means. The library is no longer a destination. It's a hidden ecosystem that works in the background. People are finding these books through Google Scholar, through their university's online catalog, by clicking a link in someone else's research paper. It's like the library is coming to you exactly when you need it instead of you having to go find it. And this is what that beautiful network actually looks like. It's not just a bunch of random dots. It's a map of knowledge. Each one of those little colorful clusters is a community of readers, all downloading and reading books about a similar topic. You're literally looking at the shape of human curiosity, whether it's German law, migration studies, or the history of Southeast Asia. And here is the really clever part, and maybe the most important part in our modern world. You know how commercial websites track your every click to build a creepy, detailed profile about you? This doesn't do that. This whole system works by analyzing the connections between the books. It's totally anonymous. We can see what topics are important to a community without ever needing to know who is in that community. It's powerful insight that totally respects your privacy. And all of this brings us to the real bottom line. The true value of free isn't just about the price tag. It's about being able to measure the real, societal impact of knowledge in a way that we just never could before. So let's ask, who is actually reading these books? You'd probably guess it's mostly other academics, right? Well, look at this. Sure, academics are there, but that middle bar, the general public, is absolutely massive. And you've got tons of people from government and nonprofits, too. This isn't knowledge being trapped in some ivory tower. This is knowledge getting out into the world and actually being put to work. So let's wrap it all up. What is the true power of open access? It's that it democratizes knowledge, giving a student in a small town the same access as a professor at a top university. It helps bridge the massive information gap between rich nations and poor nations. It lets us see what research actually matters to society, not just to other scholars. And ultimately, it just fosters a more connected, more collaborative world where ideas can be shared freely. So in the end, it all really boils down to this one simple question. We can all agree that knowledge is powerful. It might be the most powerful tool we have for making progress. So the only question left to ask is, who should get to hold the keys?